Jason ReCellular reporting from the headquarters of ReCellular, a cell phone recycling company in Ann Arbor. And I'm joined by the CEO, Steve Manning. How are you today?
Very good, very good. I'm glad to have you stop by.
All right, very good. First, could you start off by giving us some background on the company?
Well, it's an interesting company. It was actually founded in 1991 by two brothers, Chuck and Al Newman. Chuck is still chairman of the board, and he started actually as a cell phone leasing company back in the days when cell phones were $4,000 or $5,000, and they would lease them out, and then when they came back, they would refurb them and put them back out to lease. So they got involved in the cell phone industry at its very early days.
Oh, okay. Now, I've always wondered what happens when people, drop off their cell phone, maybe for the military or less fortunate, but all their, phone numbers and their text messages and all their stuff is still in the phone. But your company has sort of solved that.
Yes, it's a bit difficult. The average age of our phone is about 3.5 years old, which means it was probably designed about 5 years ago. And back at that time, data erasure of a cell phone was a bit of an afterthought. So the architecture was not very permissive to easy data erasure. So we go to quite lengths to develop erasure tools, some automated, some manual, to make sure that the data is completely wiped out of all the memory banks of the cell phone.
Okay, all right. And now, if you're erasing the data for free, which I saw on the website, then how does the company turn a profit?
Well, we know that for people to donate or sell their cell phones, they have to feel comfortable that that data is going to be erased. Some will feel most comfortable if they do it themselves. So we make that tool available to both our customers and our competitors, actually.
Now, your company also collects the cell phones. So are they being donated to the military or the less fortunate as well?
Well, what we do is we arrange collection processes with various charities. The largest one is Cell Phone for Soldiers. And then we monetize that phone and contribute the money to the charitable cause. In the case of Cell Phone for Soldiers, we monetize that donation and fund the purchase of prepaid calling cards for our soldiers in Iraq or Afghanistan. And in fact, to date, we've funded over 60 million minutes of free calling time for our soldiers overseas.
And now, what advice would you have for people, maybe they just got a new phone and they got some old ones, in their drawer? What advice do you have for them?
Well, it really, they need to get comfortable with their new phone is what they expect. Their data has been transferred to the new phone. And then I would strongly encourage them to either look at donating that phone to a worthy cause or selling it to people like ourselves and get it recycled. The fact that one cell phone going in the trash can is not a big deal. 100 million cell phones going in the trash can is an environmental disaster. And that's a big number. Now, in the United States, there's about 150 million cell phones retired every year. And we as an industry collect about 30 million of them. So our hopes and desires of those phones are still in the garages and drawers and closets of the U.S. population. And we want to help facilitate an easy recycling of that. We do not want that product going into the waste stream.
Now, of all the places in the country, why did you choose to put your headquarters here in Ann Arbor?
Well, because Chuck Newman's here. Chuck Newman was a graduate of University of Michigan's Graduate School of Mathematics. He's a consummate entrepreneur and started the company. This is one of a couple that he has started, and it just grew from this location. That being said, being in the Midwest is logistically friendly, and there's a lot of logistics in moving recyclable material in and out of our operation.
And now, how do your refurbished phones that you're selling, how would they compare to ones offered by Verizon or AT&T?
Well, they are all qualified into whatever carrier that it came from. So when we remanufacture them, we remanufacture them to new build standards. We test them to the new build standards, and then we validate their operation on the proper carrier signal. So in many cases, we work with carriers to make sure that process is complete.
So if somebody bought one of the refurbished phones now, how would they go about activating it? Would they take it into the store, or would they just call the number?
Most of the phones today can be activated over the air. So they would call the 1-800 number. Some people are not comfortable with that, and they go into the carrier store and have it activated at the store level.
We heard a lot about the iPhone coming to Verizon in about a week or two. Now, if somebody bought one of the ones from AT&T, would they be able to put that on Verizon?
No, they won't be able to. It's different technology, and that's what's unique about the U.S. wireless industry is we have both the CDMA standard, which is supported by Sprint and Verizon, and the GSM standard, mostly
AT&T and T-Mobile. In the case of AT&T, that technology of the iPhone on the AT&T network does not make it compatible at all with the Verizon network.
Okay.
So if they want to switch over, they'll need to buy a new handset from Verizon. But that being said, we offer a trade-in value of their AT&T phone, so they can trade their phone into us on our secure website, securetradein.com, and then they could use that money to help fund their Verizon iPhone.
Okay, very good. And our viewers may be wondering, since this is a new startup company, so to speak, are you hiring? Is there jobs here?
Well, in fact, there are. We have added about 10% to our workforce since November 1st. We've grown pretty well. Last year we grew about 45% in revenue. We certainly expect to grow at that rate or higher in 2011.
Okay. How many employees are there right now?
We have about 328 employees, most of them based here in either Ann Arbor or Dexter, and we have an operation in Hong Kong with about 25 people.
Oh, okay. And you're looking for about how many more?
Well, we had just added about 20 in the last 45 days.
Oh, okay.
We're looking at our hiring plans for this year, and we would expect we'll be continuing hiring through the first half of the year.
Very good. Anything else you would like to mention while we're still here?
Well, it's recycling is an important thing for consumer electronics. It's not just cell phones that we need to worry about keeping out of our groundwater, but the best recycling is reuse, and so we focus pretty heavily on taking the product into its second generation life. And again, the support of those charities that we support, you can see on our website the various charities, and I think we try to make it convenient for you, but it's just a real good thing to do.
Give us the website once again.
It's www.ReCellular.com.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot. Nice meeting with you today.
Thank you.